Hi, everyone. Welcome to the African Hummingbird podcast. Today, I'm not with Sharon. So I'm here with my friend. I've known him since 2016.
Yeah.
16. Tulijuana chess club, I think. But over time, tukajuana in different clubs and societies in campus. So I'm here with Brandon, Ruoro, Ngũgĩ. Welcome. How are you?
Thank you. Thank you very much. I am fine.
Mhm.
This is a good opportunity, a good experience. My first podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it
and
is.
I'm excited. Yeah.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling
Are you
good.
nervous?
No. Maybe a little, but no, I'm mostly eager to see how it
How it
goes.
goes.
Yeah. I've been listening to your episodes. They are really good.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. So this is a book podcast. And before we go into the book that you're going to dive into, are you an avid reader? Unasomanga to once in a week, month, or a year, like Sharon? Um,
I am an avid collector.
oh,
But when it comes to reading,
Yeah.
I want to grow in that space.
but then Brandon has, there's a book, I don't know if you remember in 2018 or 19, Apple.
Mhm.
There was a time you had a box of many books. I don't know, you got them from your family from UK.
Yes.
Then it was more than 100 books.
There were so many, there were large cartons. They
Yeah.
were sent as donations to a school library, Uko Ushago.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It
they,
was really a good initiative.
yeah.
Did you read any of the books?
I actually did. I've read maybe two or three. Yeah.
I remember I borrowed you one book and I tried to read, but I think the influence was so white that I couldn't
Very
relate.
Western.
Very Western.
Yes. I
couldn't
think
relate.
they were donated books, so maybe people are donating.
Yeah.
And most of them were the whites because they were from US.
Yeah.
Yeah, so some of them are not relatable,
Yeah.
but
it's
still,
true.
I think there's always something to learn from.
Most
every
definitely.
book.
Even that non-relatability,
Yes.
it's quite something because you learn maybe a thing or two
Yeah.
from there. So I have questions for you just to
Okay.
ice break and make you comfortable.
Let's hear them.
Yeah. So the first one is, what's the book that you have ever read that you just can't stop thinking about?
Okay.
Is there any? Ama yote tu unasawi.
Well, there are books I remember with fondness.
Yes.
Mostly by this author, I think is Khaled Hosseini. Yes. I have read two of his books. Actually have the third one as a hard copy. Yeah, his books are, I think before I started reading fiction, I used to read a lot of non-fiction. And
I've always known you to read non-fiction books.
Yes.
For the longest.
And I always struggled to finish them until
This
I read
is why I
this book.
advocate for fiction books.
I know.
Yeah.
When I read this book, I understood why people love reading.
Yeah.
It was very engaging.
Yeah.
Takes you to a different world. You root for the characters only to be disappointed and devastated.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I love his books. I'd read any of his. And I think that opened me up to more fiction
More
books.
fiction books. Yeah. I like when people say they like non-fiction books. Oh, fiction books. Because even me, it has been a struggle reading non-fiction books. Because most of the time I read it, but simalizi. So
yeah.
But when I read like fiction that I really like, wow, naeza maliza hata in one sitting.
I know. Some non-fictions, you just feel they should be blogs.
I know, right?
Author is stretching a concept.
Funny thing, someone was telling me the exact same thing.
Yeah.
That why are there many words in, let's say, self-help book? Just say the point, what you want to pass across, na kitabu ishe. Why is it a book? He was also complaining about the same thing.
Yeah.
So another thing, which writer, author, dead or alive, would you love to have dinner with?
Okay. Do the authors of the books of the Bible count?
Yeah. But the authors of the books of the Bible,
Mm.
see Holy Spirit, or they were inspired
They
by
were
the Holy
inspired.
Spirit. Yeah,
Anyway, that was a question. I don't have one from the Bible.
for sure.
Sasa ninaandikwa Bible. That I'd like to have dinner with.
Yeah.
Interesting. Now the funny thing, I think I'd want to have dinner with an author who's written a non-fiction book.
Ah.
Yeah, because now from that conversation, I'd get the summarized version
I get you.
of these books. So it would probably be an author who's written something to do with investing or practical manenos.
Oh, I get you.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
that will do. Alafu, is there any book that you'd recommend to anyone and any listener?
I think so. Currently, I've been reading alongside my attempted reading habit. I've been reading Daily Stoic.
Daily Stoic.
Yes. It just has simple lessons.
Yeah.
One for every day
Yeah,
on how to be balanced, how to be a stoic.
Stoic. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a really good book so far. It's not long.
Mm.
Yeah, and
Stoicism.
yeah, I think more people could benefit if they read that.
Especially if you're undergoing something difficult,
Yes,
like loss of job,
actually, yes,
heartbreak.
yes.
Like something to do with loss. I think Stoicism bring about just acceptance. Because I remember
Yes.
I bumped into Stoicism, like
Mhm.
the principle of Stoicism,
Mhm.
after I left a work that I didn't want to leave. And in a way, it kind of helped me. I didn't read the whole book, but I just touched on bits and
Yes.
pieces of Stoicism.
Yes, it's really good.
Yeah. So to the book we're going to review today.
Yes.
Drum rolls. Mcheka drum rolls hapo. Umesahau. Drum rolls. Ko sawa? Anyway, today we're going to review a book. It's the second book by this author that we're reviewing. And it is The River Between. Drum rolls. So The River Between. It's written by you're telling me Ngugi wa Thiong'o is your
Name. Well, we share the name Ngũgĩ.
Ngũgĩ?
Yes.
and how do they pronounce it in Kikuyu? Ngugi?
Ngũgĩ.
Ngugi. Not Ngugi.
Mm.
So, fun fact about Ngugi.
Yes.
His English name is James. James Ngugi.
Okay.
Then after, I think, decolonizing the mind and wanting to just eradicate all the culture, whatever that the colonialists had brought, he decided to drop the name
Drop his-
James and adopted Ngugi wa Thiong'o.
Okay.
Yeah. So
The
even the first publication for The River Between, it had the name James Ngugi. But because they published it the second time so that they can distribute, now the name changed to Ngugi wa Thiong'o.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're discussing The River Between, and this is a book that if you're in the 844 and you're old enough, maybe it was your set book. For me, it was. For Brandon, it was. Yeah. So, sawa. Ngugi wa Thiong'o, The River Between. So maybe you can just kidogo tell us what you thought about the book. Reading it the second time, because I know the first time you read it, first of all, in high school, ulimaliza kusoma hii kitabu
That's
as your set book.
a good question.
Yeah.
And short answer is no. I didn't
Ulifanyaje
finish it.
KCS?
Wait, let me tell you. You know how in Form 4 they used to bring those play those actors.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for them, I only know how the book ends.
Are you serious?
Both that one and I think the Kiswahili one, Utengano.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Utengano.
And we used to read it in class all the time. But I think those lessons are correct.
Or you finished with the class, but you personally you didn't.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, we finished with the class. But those lessons, sometimes you'd zone out. Everybody's
Yes,
just reading
exactly.
a paragraph.
Yeah.
People are reading their own things. like wanaangusha huko. So you just but when I was reading on my own, I didn't finish it.
Yeah. Is
So
this the
actually,
second time you're reading it?
yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And so it even felt like the first time because I couldn't remember most things from the last time I read. I think it's actually more than 10 years ago now.
You're showing our age.
For me, not for Stacy.
Anyway,
yes.
So I think when in high school, I read. We of course got tulimaliza na class. I read it like 3 or 4 times.
Okay.
Not because like I liked English and generally just reading. So instead of reading chemistry and physics,
you
prefer kusoma.
Na yote ni within the final year.
The 2 years, within the 2 years, because we started in Form 3. Form 4. So within that period of 2 years, I read like 3-4 times. Yeah. So the book.
Yes.
So wacha tuanze kwanza na the cover.
Yes.
Is there a way we can show the cover on Spotify kweli? So please, if you're listening to us, we will post the cover of The River Between. And we just want to explain how the cover looks like and how we think it's kuna symbolism with the story that Ngũgĩ wrote. Yeah. So the book is, maybe you can explain what you can see on your end.
Well, I can see a river.
Yes.
The river actually, it seems bigger than I had imagined it when reading the book.
Yeah.
Yes, but there's a river and there are 2 ridges that are green. They look very green. There's a lot of vegetation and growth. And from afar, you can see the sun. It looks like it's setting in the horizon, the distant horizon.
Yeah.
Yes. And of course, the title and the name of the author.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in a way, it was kind of symbolism and it had something to do with the story. Sindio?
Yes.
How is that? Tell us.
If you read the book, you'll see there's a lot of reference to the river in itself, especially its stillness and its continuity. How, despite the tension of the ridges, the river just continues slowly and smoothly. And here in the cover, you can see the river has been given a lot of prominence. Yeah. Actually, the water is black in the cover. I don't know if that means something.
Maybe.
Because water is mostly blue. But yeah, it's an interesting cover.
It is an interesting cover. Yeah. So before we continue, the premise of this book was during the colonialist period.
Yes.
And the setting of this book is somewhere in central in Kikuyu. I don't know whether this place are real. Kameno and Makuyu, are they real places in central? Or it's just fiction?
Well, they also reference other places that are actual places.
Oh, I know they've mentioned like Muranga, Embu. Those places I know, but I guess this is just a fictional place.
Yes, I think in the context that they've been used, those are
fiction place. So, in short, there are 2 villages, Makuyu and Kameno, and it's divided by a river, which you've seen in the cover. So there are 2 parts, Makuyu and Kameno. The Kameno, as I mentioned, the setting is during the colonialist period, and the 2 villages are quite different.
Yes.
Because the Makuyu embraced the colonialism.
Yes. Well, in a sense, it's the religion. But
the religion.
Yes.
Exactly. So they embraced Christianity as a religion.
Yes.
While the Kameno part, they did not take up Christianity.
Yes.
They walikuwa na traditionals, the African traditionals.
Yes.
So because of that difference, in a way they were enemies, if I might call them. There was just a bit of conflict here and there.
Yes.
But the uniting factor was the river.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Mm.
maybe you can dwell into the main characters that are into this book that we're going to discuss.
Okay.
Mm.
So we are introduced to some boys. We have Wayaki, Kamau, and Kenodia.
Kenodia.
Hey, kid.
Whips for Kenodia.
Tips for Kenodia.
Jokes.
Yeah. Yes, we see how the life was back in the community back then. I think Kamau was at the time from Makuyu.
Yes.
Yes, and these other ones were from Kameno, but they were still friends. They played together while
Yes.
taking care of animals. Everybody had duties. The boys had their duties. The girls had their responsibilities. And you can just see a society that appears to be in harmony. And
United,
everything
yes.
looks smooth. The elders are respected. Their opinions matter.
Yeah.
Yes, and then behind the scenes now you are being introduced to that tension and basically brought about by those differences in the two ridges.
Yeah.
The one ridge that embraced Christianity
And
is
the
the one
African
that's
traditions.
a traditional. Yeah, and basically the book now walks us through the unfolding of this initial staging.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Wayaki is also introduced to you've mentioned Wayaki.
Yes.
And in a way he's respected by both the young and the old. From a very young age, he seemed like he had potential to be a leader in both regions. So fast forward at the book, the father of Wayaki is called Shege, and Shege was a prophet in a way because he had a prophecy that someone is. But then reading this book, it really gave me Bible vibes in a way because there was a bit of prophecy, how they introduced Makuyu and Kameno, the land, whatever. But anyway, Shege was a prophet, and his prophecy was there will come a leader at one point, and he will save the people and unify the people.
Yes.
And I don't know whether at that time Shege knew that it would be Wayaki who was the leader. I don't know. Maybe ilijulikana later on, but that was his prophecy.
Yes.
So by uniting the people and becoming a leader, it's because the two regions were fighting.
Yes.
And for unity purposes, they just had to be someone. And Wayaki was prophesied to be that person.
Yes.
So both the young people, old people respected Wayaki, and Ngugi wa Thiong'o described the eyes of Wayaki in a very special light.
I know.
Yeah, I don't know why he emphasized, because akikuangalia tu hivi unajua tu una feel sijui aje. I don't know that description. It was a bit very descriptive.
Yeah, he was describing his stances, the way he
he stands.
The peers, and the peers are intimidated.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that was Wayaki. And in this also story, tunaambiwa about Kabonyi.
Yes.
Maybe you can introduce Kabonyi to us.
So now Kabonyi is a man. In the beginning, he lives in Makuyu, and actually you find out that he's Kamau's father.
Yes.
And he is a very, very staunch. That one.
Potato.
Okay. He's a strong believer. He's a strong believer, and he has really, really dedicated his life to also spreading the gospel, the Christianity, alongside Joshua, who's the main man, the sort of the leader, the spiritual leader, who ilimuingia kwa damu kabisa. Yeah. So Kabonyi, later in the book, he actually once Wayaki's father.
Kabonyi was not like the traditionalist.
Exactly. So once Wayaki's father passes, Kabonyi converts.
Yeah.
Yes. He leaves Joshua despite being a believer.
Yeah.
And he comes back to Kameno, and I think he wanted to become a leader, or at least his son.
Yeah.
But the people of Kameno, they already believe in Wayaki. At this time, he's already a teacher.
Yeah. Wayaki had taken up that leadership role.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And so he actually hated Wayaki a lot because he felt that it should be him.
Because Wayaki is a bit young.
Because Wayaki is young, actually. Yes, he references his age a lot. So he sets up a Kiama, like a group of people.
Maybe before you touch on that,
yes,
let's take us back. Yeah. So Wayaki went to school.
Yes.
Despite being coming from Kameno, a traditionalist.
Yes.
So why did he come to school? I had mentioned Chege had foreseen him to be like this prophecy, and alimtuma to school where the school is called Siriana.
Yes.
Siriana was located in Makuyu. So he had to cross the river and go to school every time.
Yes. No, actually, Siriana is farther from Makuyu. Siriana is a mission site in a different place. But he had to
cross a river, Ama?
Not particularly, because both children from Kameno and Makuyu would go to Siriana mission.
Oh, I get you.
That's where they mentioned Livingstone. Yeah, he used to be there.
Yeah.
And actually, Wayaki went to the school with his father's blessing.
Exactly.
Yeah, which was interesting, right? But the father's words were he should learn the wisdom, the ways of the white man, but not learn or not practice the vices.
Exactly.
Yes. And that's actually, for me, I found that to be interesting, right? Because later in the book you find that these traditionalists, they feel that in any way interacting with the settlers, that is betraying the tribe.
Exactly.
Right? But there's this other perspective of you can engage with them to improve the tribe, right? When you borrow their wisdom and their ways.
Because obviously there are nice things about them.
Yes. But you can be selective and not choose the ones that are bad, oppressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then, yes, so you find that eventually Wayaki is found in a difficult place because he's been doing what he believes to be right. And he believed the prophecy. Eventually it comes to be that he feels that he's the one to unite the people.
Yeah.
But then the ridge or the drift between the two sides keeps on growing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, like after a while he was in that school, the teachers, Livingstone was a white man. The only white man mentioned in the story decided to do what? To chase away the kids whose parents had not converted or kubali with the Christian way of life. So in that, kwa hiyo kizungumkuti, nani akapatikana? Wayaki. So Wayaki was chased away from school.
Yes.
So
they were about to finish.
Yeah, exactly. So what happened was Wayaki went to his region and he built school. He built a school where other people from Kameno joined that school. I think that's where his leadership sprouted.
Exactly.
And people just looked up to him as a leader.
Yes.
So you're looking back. So
actually, I think there's something also interesting, or a big part of the book that brought about that shift of even Livingstone chasing away people.
Yeah.
And we haven't introduced the two daughters, the two girls who are
Modoni and
Nyambura. Yes.
So So we are introduced to this Sharon, stop. We are introduced to this guy called Joshua.
Yes.
Joshua had two daughters, Modoni and Nyambura.
Yes.
He had accepted the ways of Christianity.
Completely. Yes.
But the two daughters, one of the daughters, Modoni, was a traditionalist.
Yes, she rebelled.
Yes. Yeah. And Nyambura took up the whole Christianity and way of life, kabisa. So everything the Christianity did, she did. So FGM, female genital mutilation, not manipulation, mutilation was part of the African traditionalists. So what happened is because Modoni was a rebel, she was circumcised.
Yes.
Yeah. So that really caused bad. It was a bad taste to Joshua, who was fully converted
Christian now.
Christian.
Yes.
And it brought about enmity between the two, the parent and the daughter, and in a way, Akamu abandoned.
Yeah, he disowned
the daughter Modoni completely. So I think, yes, you're right. That instance also brought.
Yes.
Had forgotten it.
Yes. No, it was because I think they were actually, that whole scene is a bit powerful because they were showing the celebration of culture on this other side. It was around that time where there's the rites of passage. And yes, Modoni really wanted to, she felt like if she didn't go through the FGM, that she wasn't a woman in the tribe.
Man. That begs the question, who is a woman? Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, and for her, she believed that she can both be a traditionalist and a Christian.
Yeah.
Just like her mother and other women in Makuyu.
Yeah.
Yes, because the Makuyu people had converted, but before they converted, they were practicing the ways of the tribe.
Exactly.
Yes. Now the unfortunate thing is for her, while everyone else was successful in the rite of passage, for her, the condition worsened.
Yeah.
Yes, to the point where she had to be taken to the mission hospital in Syriana. And unfortunately, she dies.
She died.
And I
who
think...
who takes her to the hospital?
Wayaki
and Nyambura.
Yes. No, Nyambura wasn't there. Wayaki gathered other people, other classmates, I think, or friends who also go there. Yes, but unfortunately, she dies and she gives Wayaki the message to give
Nyambura. Exactly.
But I think that death is what now triggered Livingstone to just say these traditional manenos.
In our ways, just
we don't want them.
So that's how the school in Kameno was formed by Wayaki.
Yes.
So Wayaki in the school, your leadership yake sprouted from there. People looked up to him, and yeah, maybe you can introduce Nyambura and Wayaki.
I think we see now as days pass, the river is called Honia.
Honia River.
In Kikuyu means to cure or to heal.
Oh, really?
Yes. You are sick and then upone inaitwa umepona. Yeah. So now the river was a sort of, what do we call them? A hidden gem. Well, the river wasn't really hidden.
Hidden gem. Noted.
But it was a safe space for both of them.
Yeah.
Yes. So I think one time Oyaki he was having some sleepless night and he decided to go for a walk. And so when he crosses the river, he sees Nyambura there. And they sort of talk for a bit.
Boy meets girl in the dark.
In the dark. Those nini.
Yeah.
Yes. But it turns out that both of them, especially for Nyambura, after she lost her sister, she didn't have anyone else to talk to. And Wayaki was also the other person who had sort of interacted with the sister.
Yeah.
And because he brought the last words from the sister. So she wished that she could talk to him a bit more. Yeah, so they meet, but don't think anything materialized from that first meeting. But later on they meet again. Yes, actually the first time that they met was by accident because Wayaki was going to his friend.
Yeah.
I think Kenodia. They would talk.
Yeah.
But then when he met Nyambura, he felt like now he can sleep well, akarudi. Rudi kulala. Yeah, the second
Good.
time they meet,
When
this
you
book,
find a good woman.
I know.
Anyway, yes.
Yeah, the second time they meet, it goes like 0 to 100. That the guy proposes.
Yeah.
He just confesses his love.
Undying love to Nyambura.
Yes. And this actually is at a time where his name is very influential in the community.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's known as the teacher. But he still felt like he needed more. And so did Nyambura. I think Nyambura now started feeling that she doesn't want to stay with the parents again, the father. She didn't like, or she wasn't agreeing fully with the father's ideals because Joshua was very passionate.
Yeah.
So
she was an extreme. He was an extremist.
Yeah. He was an extremist. So this time, Wayaki goes, he sees her, he confesses, but Nyambura chooses to obey the father because he remembered what happened to her sister.
Yeah.
Or she remembers what happened to her sister when she rebelled. She was disowned and things didn't go well.
Yeah.
So she chooses to choose the dad, and so she rejects Wayaki.
Yeah.
And so Wayaki believes that that's that. But then, unfortunately, or fortunately, well, not unfortunately, doesn't matter, but there was Kamau at the time.
Yeah.
He was near the river. He was also like, he was waiting for nyota yake ijipange. I've been hearing that word, nyota. Yeah, but then he wanted to also confess his love, and for him, he felt it would be guaranteed.
Yeah.
Because
in the same
he stays in Makuyu, and his father was Kaboni. I don't know. He just thought
he had more chances.
Yes.
But unfortunately.
So unfortunately, Ata Ngũgĩ describes it later. Wayaki is like a hawk that snatches the food just before he's about to eat it. Yeah, and it fuels his hatred for Wayaki all the more.
Yeah. So Nyambura and Wayaki reunites.
So I haven't got into that part. I should have started with a disclaimer. I'm like Bakisha chapters.
Okay.
But pali nimefika, not really. I think Wayaki accepted the rejection, but now the rumors are spreading.
Yeah.
Yes, there are a lot of rumors spreading in the community. I think, of course, Kamau was the leak.
Yeah.
That are saying Wayaki, even though he's a leader and he's doing all these things, he's not loyal to the tribe.
Yeah.
And you see, the Kiama has been formed to ensure that everybody is loyal. People are taking oaths. Yeah, so they start piling a case against him. Like when he goes to Syriana to find more teachers, they're saying he's going to negotiate with the settlers to sell
out, to be a sellout.
Yeah, to be a sellout. They're saying he wants to marry Nyambura, who is not pure in the tribe, right? And the Kiama is thinking of extreme ideas, like forcefully, circumcising women. Not all of them, but there's a fraction of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Wayaki is summoned by the Kiama. Of course, Kabonyi being the leader. Because Kabonyi, when he converted, he became so passionate. And I don't know. I don't know why that happened, because he was a Christian.
He was.
Yeah, so now he's very passionate, and people are listening, other elders are listening to him because he's old and he has beef with Wayaki.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Wayaki doesn't want to respond to them, especially on matters Nyambura. He wants them to keep Nyambura's name out of...
Keep mouth. Wife's name out of your mouth. Yeah. But let me tell you, I did listen to the audio.
Yes.
And that's why I asked you, Kwani nafika chapter 19? Because that's where exactly I figured, where the Kiama, I thought that ilikuwa inaisha in suspension.
Oh.
Because where I reached, the Kiama had summoned. Actually,
yes.
Umefika patia where the Kiama kicks out Wayaki out of the village.
No.
I think it was a few more chapters.
So the audio combined
the Kiama comes, of course, Kabonye was the leader. They chased Wayaki out of the village because of two things. One, it's because the education that he was spreading, he feels like alikuwa na spread Christianity to the children and the people.
Yes.
Then number two, in a way, they had reconciled with Nyambura, and he even wanted to marry her, and he had brought her to the Kiama and mentioned that. Then, of course, led by Kabonye, they're all staunch and said, you know what, no, hatukubali hizi mambo, and they chase him out.
Yes.
So, of course, Kabonye and Wayaki confronted. Of course, Kabonye ndio ali manipulate the decision a lot, because when you read the chapter, you'd see that the Kiama were 50-50 in a way, but Kabonye, with his manipulation,
he said he spoke with quotes and wise sayings.
Yeah, he really manipulated the elders.
Resonate,
yeah. And at the end of that, chapter 19, Nyambura and Wayaki are summoned to the Kiama. And me, I thought that was the last part where we don't know what happened. You know, the way readers live in suspension.
Suspense, yes.
I literally thought that was it. Wayaki and Nyambura brought to the Kiama.
Yes.
Waiting for their fate to be decided. That's where I finished my audiobook, and that was it.
That was it. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember from? So you also don't remember from back in the day?
Because I thought that was the last part. But that's a good suspense.
It is a good.
What happened to Wayaki and Nyambura?
What do you think happened?
Love is blind, because clearly.
You wait for the reunion.
Wait for it. But anyway, I think that's a good place to finish.
Yeah, it's interesting.
What happened to the love story? Did Kabonye win? Was Kabonye the leader of Kameno since Wayaki had been sent out? Those are the questions that
do you think
I'm asking.
Do you think Wayaki would have succeeded in uniting? What should he have done differently to?
I think he was perfect, honestly. Do I see any other way, really? Because hadi penye amefika, even just being a leader amongst traditionalists, and hadi umejenga shule kwa traditionalists.
Yes.
Hiyo ni kipao. That's leadership. And penye amefika, it was, and mind you, if it was not Kabonye coming and converting after Shege's death, the father, maybe he would be even bigger, because Kabonye was the protagonist in this, in his journey, in his leadership journey. Yes. Yeah.
Then, actually, remember he had joined the Kiama at some point.
Yeah, exactly.
But then he chose to focus on his vision for education. Yes, among the people. So for me, I think that was a mistake.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, exactly.
You know?
That's
because now the Kiama,
they had lots of to say
control, yes, and they could. So then he was unaware of. He had a vision and it's long term, but I feel it was a bit narrow sight. Yeah, it was.
Angebaki tu Kiama yeah.
Yeah, if he could have managed, he should have done both. In my opinion. That way he would know what's happening there. He can even influence some of the decisions and bring clarity to those elders.
That's true.
From his perspective, instead they were poisoned by Kabonye, who pretended to be up. So that I didn't like Kabonye. Because he's a convert, and then he's here is the one anachochea. He's like
extremist.
I know the ways of the tribe do this, but still he managed to convince people. It's interesting. But then again, I don't understand why in every community or society, there must be something that will bring division. Like all these people, they are one community. They understand each other.
They are both from one tribe.
Yes, but
so it's just a very little thing that brings about
the division, and it continues to grow, and they continue to hate
Drift
each other
apart
more,
even more
drift
and
apart more. They even start burning each other's houses.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes you think, why can't there be unity? You can see his ideal vision, but then knowing what you know about society,
Yeah.
you start wondering, it's not possible.
But it is possible.
Yeah.
Riverhonia. It was a good read.
It was
Or a good listen to me.
I wish I had found that out. I love audiobooks. They
Check it out. Did I share it with you? I'll share it with you.
So
Yeah. I think that's anything else you want to mention about the book?
About the book? No.
Or about Ngugi wa
I'll
Thiong'o?
finish it. I think the book was interesting. He likes to describe things a lot.
Yes.
Dreams.
And you can see it.
Vision.
And you see it.
Yes,
in your mind while you're reading or listening to it.
Yes, it's very descriptive. There's a lot of symbolism. He incorporates a lot of mother tongue in the book.
And I guess if you understand the Kikuyu language, you're able to get the meaning of these words, like Riverhonia, meaning unity, cure, healing.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was an interesting read. Sorry. No, it was an interesting read. Yeah.
This is my second read. Yes. You are Thiong'o. The funny thing is, it's quite different from what I read before.
Yes.
Please listen to our book review, Decolonizing the Mind, we did with Sharon a while back. And the one thing that comes across is it was that period of colonialists too.
Yes.
For the Decolonizing the Mind, he talks about language, the language English, and how it came about. And for the second book, This is the River Between, he talks about education and the culture of Christianity brought about. And I just thought about it and how it's important for people to document the time they are in at the moment.
Yes.
So whether it's writers writing books about the current moment they are at, or podcasters talk about the current moment they are at.
Yes.
Because in future, 10, 50 years to come, your children or your grandchildren will need to know, okay, what happened? Because this book was published in 1965, 67 Apple.
Okay, yes.
The first one.
Yes.
So tunaona a while back how it was,
Things were.
So for our children's sake or our grandchildren's sake, it is important to write books on where you are at the moment, to just see your point of view so that you don't read or see things in the eyes of the people we...
Yes.
Yeah, those people.
No, I completely agree.
Yeah.
I found that books sort of, even if they are fiction, they sort of paint the way things were in a sense.
Yes.
During that period. And actually for me that was a challenge, right? To read more books, especially ones that are outside my cocoon. Because within your limited worldview, things are one way.
Yes.
Yeah, but then you read these different books of people's experiences, no matter how crazy they sound.
Yeah.
That is a reality that's happening in
the ground,
in the world at that point or at some point in time. So it sort of expands your thinking. Yeah, and as you've said, for documentation.
Yeah.
I think there'll be a time where reading old books, and I think it still happens. There are people
classics.
And
the history books.
Classics.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even the writing style evolves and changes.
Yeah.
So it's good.
Yeah. This was a nice reading. A good discussion. I've enjoyed it.
Me too. Me too. It's been good. I think if I'm ever here again, I'll make sure to have finished the book.
Sawa. Thank you for coming.
Oh, definitely.
You're welcome again. Kama unataka to discuss any other book, just tell me. I listen to it or I read it, and you can come discuss it.
Sawa. So do you have like I know you had mentioned once, but the books that you read sometimes and you review, maybe you could even share with the audience wasome pamoja, so that when the nini comes, when the podcast comes that you are reviewing,
Yeah.
they are following
that's-
along,
That's a good.
and there
a
won't
good
be
idea.
spoilers. They want to know
Yeah.
if I agree with Stacy or Sharon with this thing. Yeah.
That's a good one. Sharon, what's the name of the book that you're going to read next? And for now, I don't know whether it's intentionally, but we've decided to stick to Kenyan reads. Not intentionally, but we are inclined to choose Kenyan reads, African reads.
Which is-
Yeah. So our next book is Let Me Call You Back by Jackson Biko. So I think the episode that our next episode, so maybe 2 episodes or 3 episodes from now, we'll discuss this book. So please read it. That if we come to the podcast and review it, you'd have a say. Yeah. Would you recommend this book to anyone?
The River Between.
Yeah.
I think it has a lot of nostalgia. So if you
Please.
did it in 844, picking
So
it up
much,
again is interesting. It's good.
That was it from us. Thank you so much, Brandon, for coming.
Thank you, Stacy, for having me.
And let us know what you thought about the book, if you've read or our discussion. Please share, subscribe, and do all the nice things. Bye.
Bye-bye.